every egg, every fish, every turtle, every young shrimp is precious now. Whatever survives a spill is precious. We've got to do everything we can to protect those, because those are the 2x2 creatures that we're going to have to load into this arc of recovery that we're building now, that we need to come out of this thing. And more importantly, we're going to need a place for these creatures to come home to. Every bit of habitat we've got left, we have to protect very, very carefully right now. We can't squander any of it. We can't lose any of it. And we have to go yet another step. We've got to restore the habitats that we've lost. Because over the past 100 years, Mobile Bay, I think we're probably down to about 10% of the grass beds, the important nursery habitats, 10% of the marshes, those really critical nursery habitats, 10% of the oyster reefs from what we had 100 years ago. We've been slowly losing them. So there weren't many places to come home to before the spill. Now there are even less. So what are we going to do? We're going to have to restore what we lost over the past 100 years, and we're going to have to do it fast. We're going to have to do it in 3 to 5 years. We can do it. We know how to do it. In Mobile Bay, we know that in 3 to 5 years, we can build 100 miles of oyster reef. We can build at least 1,000 acres of marsh and seagrass. There's all likelihood we could build 10,000 acres of marsh and seagrass if we worked at it hard enough in 3 to 5 years. Huge new areas of clean habitat for these creatures to come home to, so that every creature that survives, we maximize the chance that they reproduce and that their young grow in these new clean marsh habitats and move back out into the Gulf. In Alaska, 21, 22 years after the spill, they opened their shrimp beds for the first time. They still haven't opened their herring fishery because these creatures don't have a clean place to come back to there. And they didn't have a way of building that. We have a way of doing it. And we know how to do it. All we need is the support from the public and the support from the agencies involved and the money to do this, and we can pull it off. Fundamentally, preserving what's left, preserving the life that's left, and then creating those homes for creatures to come home to. Rebuilding those great oyster reefs, marshes, and seagrasses that played such an important role in the livelihood of the Gulf. If we do this, if we act heroically right now to rebuild those things, in 10 years, we'll be living with a Gulf that is more bountiful, more beautiful than the Gulf we lived with before the spill came.